Good evening, everyone. Yeah, come on in here. It's Wealthy You Wind Down Wednesday, in that we're going to be focusing not only on all the activities that we have going on in Wealthy You Wind Down, but also our wins. And come on in, let me know who is in the room with me so I can give you a shout out. And come on, ladies. Turn those cameras on if you can. We're family. And I just want you to know is that, and I was just talking with someone about this. I had a couple of live events and I had really forgotten about what it feels like when you're in the room with folks, and the energy that you get. So in the chat, let me know where you hail from, so I can also give you a shout out. I see some old friends, Margaret Lohing, it's good to see you. One of our good Legacy Wealth Accelerator girlfriends, Linda, it's good to see you. We're waiting on some tech start. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties tonight. Those technology gremlins always rear their little head. But that's okay too. So good evening. Who's ever supposed to be here is supposed to be here. So let's see who's in the shout, and let me in the house so that I can give you a shout out. Cassandra Wilkerson, Roanoke, Virginia. Yes, Margaret, it's great to see you too. Of course, Roxanne, our ambassador and editor, is in the house from Kansas City, Missouri. Stephanie Rousseau from the great state of Ohio. Leslie Hamilton from Maryland. Come on in. Well, we've had a lot going on in Wealthy You. We've launched a new program, sneak peek tonight of something else that we're launching, all with the goal of staying on mission, and that is to help 1 million women get to $1 million in investable assets so that they can create legacy wealth. But as we say in Wealthy You, it's not about the money, it's about the mission. And the mission really is making sure that you're gaining the knowledge that you need so that you can create legacy wealth. Come on, though, man, there are no cameras on other than my ambassadors. Come on, ladies. Let me see those beautiful faces. Although I see my good girlfriend, Sharon Richmond, Rich Face Makeup. It's good to see you, Sharon. Sharon and I spent, over 5 years together, week after week. She did my makeup on the News One Now on Roland Martin. So it's also good to see you. And the interesting thing about Sharon, not only did she do my makeup, but every time I would go on that set, I would come out, I would have my notes. She was like, "Can I have your notes?" She would take my notes, and little did I know, but Sharon was applying everything that she was learning. And that's what's so powerful. I tell all of you so many times about the fact that knowledge is not power, but knowledge correctly applied is. And Sharon joined us at one of our events, and she told her own story about how taking that knowledge that she learned allowed her to pay off debt, start an SEP IRA, and on and on and on. So it's good to see my good girlfriend. Who else is in the house with me? A number of our Wealthy You sisters who are in the programs right now. Tashima Roberts, Paula Allahan, who else is in here? Laura Wade, one of our new Legacy Wealth Intensive members, and I'll tell you a little bit about that. Good to see you, Leslie Hamilton, as well. Cassandra Wilkerson. Don't turn off those cameras, ladies, before I can greet you. You're turning the cameras off. There she is, Cassandra. Good to see you. And who else is with us? MKJ Rashid, it's good to see you. Lisa Sellers, come on in. Well, I got to tell you, before I get started, it is Wealthy You Wind Down Wednesday. And with that, I want to give all of you a toast. If you've got a beverage that you would like to toast with me, This is all about celebrating all of you and all of the wins that we're having here in WealthyU. So whether you've got water, your favorite glass of water, whatever, a toast to all of you. I see you, Sharon. That's great. Well, I always like to tell you what I'm drinking. It is a Cabernet Sauvignon from one of my favorite places in California, Paso Robles. So if you ever want a great wine, a great cab, it's a great region to get wine from. So now that that's over, one of the things I want to do tonight is really celebrate we just came off of our Legacy Wealth Intensive. How many of you were here for when I talked about the new Legacy Wealth Blueprint, our Legacy Wealth 3.0? Our Legacy Wealth 3.0, we revamped our programs with the launch of the new book, Wealth Secrets. And now we're into WealthyU 3.0, which is now our Legacy Wealth Blueprint. And with our Legacy Wealth Blueprint, I also showed all of you the journey that we documented after we looked at, after I wrote that book and really saw exactly what the transformations were. And so within that, I shared with all of you, oh, what happened to my Legacy Blueprint? Yeah, so did my camera. Exactly. Well, I'm going to show that to you guys in just a minute. But what I want to share with you is some of the amazing aha moments that I have. So in the chat, let me know how many of you actually got a copy of the Wealth Secrets book. How many of you have a copy of the Wealth Secret book? If you have it, you have it in the chat. Say yes. So Leslie Hamilton says, me. I have it. Paula has it. Lisa has it. Oh, Roxanne said, I bought 4 copies for me and 3 daughters. Awesome. Elrethia has it. Who else has it? In the chat, let me know if you have the book. Because one of the things, I love to share with all of you the process. Do you guys like hearing Inside Baseball? If you guys like hearing Inside Baseball, put yours in the chat. Okay. So one of the things that writing a book does is it really forces you to focus on Laura, yours is on the way, my sweet. And so one of the things it causes you to really do is kind of focus. And with this book, this was a labor of love. You would have to be under a rock if you have not heard about Wealth Secrets or in this community. So one of the things that I loved about this book, Wealth Secrets, is it really gave me an opportunity to document the journey that the women in WealthyU took with me as we evolved in WealthyU. As I shared with many of you, one of the, what do I want to call it? Seed of an equivalent benefit, right? In every sort of catastrophe or challenge, there's a seed of an equivalent benefit. That's a quote from Napoleon Hill. And the seed of an equivalent benefit for COVID for me was launching the WealthyU Society. And through the WealthyU Society, many of you took that journey with me. And you started out and we did a 21-day challenge. Then we did a 5-day challenge. Then boom, we launched WealthyU, our first group, if you will, coaching program. Because prior to that, even though my coach was telling me, Deb, you need to do something with group, you need to build community, I was so resistant. And I was resistant because of course, we always think it's always different for us, So for me, the difference really was the fact that this was private information. People would never share. They wouldn't divulge information. And so I had that in my head about what something wouldn't work. And then boom, you know how God does. God will say, just when you when you think it's not possible for you, he'll force you into it, right? And so the circumstances were one in which COVID happened. All of the members in WealthyU who had been private coaching clients had been, calling and texting and talking about the fact that they were fearful the market was going down. To be honest with you, sort of like what's going down right now. I've been getting emails. I moved my money and the market is going down. And you know what I say, it's not, you got to shift from that income mindset to that wealth mindset. Well, long story short, as a result of that, miraculous things happen. Miraculous things happen. And I would say that to all of you, whenever you get fearful, whenever you begin to think that things are not going to happen, that's when you need to press in. And so as a result of that, something profound, many profound things happen. And the beauty of that is it's captured in the Wealth Secrets book. So if you have not gotten the Wealth Secrets book, I want to really encourage you to do so. Okay, so I write this book, and this book is a labor of love, because what I also want you to understand is and it's so appropriate that Sharon Richmond's on the show today, the makeup artist that did my makeup on Roland Martin, right? Because Mr. Owens, I don't have a plug in my computer and it's about to go dead. If you could, so hopefully I don't go anywhere, but bear with me, you guys, right? I can use either plug, it doesn't matter. And so so at the same time that I was doing all of those interviews, one of the other things I was capturing was the real life stories of women and their transformation. So all of you in WealthyU, one of the things you should know, and I tell you when we're on our on coaching calls or strategic advisory, one of the things that I say is, listen, when you have your breakthrough and your transformation, one of the things I'm going to ask you to do is to share those breakthroughs. How many of in WealthyU, if you've been someone who has shared your successes and your transformations with the WealthyU community, put me in the chat, right? I just saw Fanny come in. I mean, that's Maddie. I just saw Maddie comes in, and I know I've called on Maddie. I've called on many of you to share your stories, right? And I want you to know the significance of that. Paula says yes, right? I want you to understand the significance of that really is, so I want to go back to all of my reluctance, right? So all of my reluctance around, whether or not I could do a group program and whether or not you would all share what your successes were, was that it was private. You would think it was to this, to that, and that, Terry, this is still not charging.
You're in the back. It needs to be in the back.
Well, it can't be because, bear with me, guys. If I take that out, the camera's gonna go out.
It's in the back, so it should be charging.
Okay, I think I got it. I heard it. Bear with me, you guys. You know what, honey? That soft cord I can put in here as well if it's back there. Okay, so where was I, guys? Just bear with me. Just some little technology issues. No, the soft one, honey. The cord. This won't work. It's the same one. So bear with me, you guys. Okay, this worked. All right. Okay, I've got power. I'm not going to go out. Okay, so where was I? Oh, I was talking about the fact that, again, I thought that no one would tell their story. So the significance of all of this is my long way around of saying that what I was able to do. So once News One Now went away, then do you guys remember what was the show that we did for over 18 months? If you remember what that was in the chat, tell me in the chat. What was the name of the show that was on Black Star Network that we launched and we did probably 18 months of shows? Anybody remember? Come on. You guys don't remember the name of that show? That's right, Roxanne, Get Wealthy. So here it was. I just want you to see how remarkable God is, right? So COVID happens. We go into this intense 21-day challenge, this intense 5-day challenge. We launched the WealthyU Society. And as a result of that, all of these remarkable things happen. Women start paying off debt. They start hitting their first 6 figures. They start hitting their first 7 figures. They start building investment portfolios. They start investing in real estate. They start doing all of these other things as a result of COVID. And then I'm capturing those transformations on Get Wealthy. Right? So what I want you to know is in every chapter of the Wealth Secret book, every chapter, every woman was interviewed on Get Wealthy or on that News One Now segment. Okay, that's just the significance of it. So we actually captured their transformations. And so in the book Wealth Secret, each secret is actually one that someone applied and got a result. Are y'all with me? So if you're reading the book, that is what you're seeing in real life. So the point that I want to make, the reason that was so significant and so deliberate was this is what I want you to understand is that 2 things that Get Wealthy allowed me to do, and what I'm so grateful for Roland Martin for always sharing his platform with me. You know, whether every show that he has ever had, whether it was radio or he always shared that platform. But what the significance of that was that I wanted them to see women, if they got access to the information that typically is only reserved for high net worth people, what can happen. So if in the chat, if you are someone who's been exposed to this knowledge, if you're someone who's been exposed to this knowledge and it has made a profound impact in the chat because you've been in WealthyU and the concepts that you've been exposed to in WealthyU have impacted your life, put me in the chat. Put me in the chat. Because Roxanne says to me, who else? Anybody else? Anybody else is in WealthyU and they've been profoundly changed by what they've learned in WealthyU? Lamerle says me. Paula says me. You know, on and on and on. So what I want you to know is the significance of how COVID happened and then Get Wealthy and then interviewing all these people and then the book, right? So the book and so I'm interviewing these people, right? And I'm writing this book. And in fact, I'm writing the book and I'm basically slotting in those interviews because the book, if you'll notice, you guys read the book, you kind of see how it flowed with the different women and the story, because what I really felt was important, what I've always thought was important about writing is that do the stories give you context? If stories give you context, put yes in the chat. You see, the significance of stories and in fact, the data, and it really shows it that psychologically, when we hear a story, we retain it more. Do you find that? Do you find that you can retain information more when it's put into a story, and then you can see, oh, that's how they applied it, right? This is how I would apply it, as opposed to it just being, some facts or figures or whatever that you're trying to remember and think about it. And to be honest with you, the reason why I've always felt like stories were important, and you guys know I'm an author and I've written 5 books, and in every book, there's always my story, there's my mother's story. And because I want you to understand the journey, right? That's important. If do you guys agree that when you can see the path someone else follows, then you have a path that you can follow? Agree or disagree with me? When you can see the path that somebody else took, then you can follow that path. You know what I mean? It's like a map. Is this making sense to you guys? Is this making sense to you guys? Laura says yes. Pamela says she agrees. Paula agrees. So I just want you to understand that the power of stories and the power of what we're creating in WealthyU to help women get to $1 million in assets, and it's not about the money, it's about the mission, right? Is because, and I want all of you to understand your responsibility in this as well. I want you guys to all understand your responsibility in this. Well, this information is not just for you. The truth is the information that I'm sharing with you, the insight that I learned by being with high net worth and wealthy people and seeing that they got a different blueprint. The reason that I'm sharing it with you is so that you'll have the right blueprint. Is this making sense to you guys? I see you nodding, Leslie. I just want you to understand the amount of intention that goes into really thinking about how to have WealthyU make a profound impact and leave a legacy. I want you to know that WealthyU is our legacy. My family has watched me on this journey for over 20 years, right? This legacy grows, but here's what I want you to know, because I have a real sense of urgency, though. The only way it will make a more profound impact, I want you all to get this. The only way it will make a more profound impact is that if all of you are involved in helping get to that 1 million. If you're with me, I want you to put I'm with you. Okay? Put I'm with you on the chat. I want you to understand that I'm going to be asking something of all of you, because what's important, Laura says I'm with you. Stephanie says I'm with you. Pamela says I'm with you. Tashima says I'm with you. What is important is that we don't all take this information in ourselves, but what is important is that we impact other people. And so one of the things I'm going to be asking all of you is, how many of you believe that if you were intentional, you could get 10 women to join in this mission? I mean, personally, you could get 10 women. Now, and I'm not saying you're going to do this overnight, but I'm going to ask all of you to commit to inviting 10 women to this community over the next 12 months. If you could put 10 on it, put 10. If you're working on 10, but first I just want you to get 1. All right. First, I just want you to get 1. The goal for each of you is 10 in 12 months. But first, I just want you to get 1. If you believe you could get 1 person in the next month, to lean into WealthyU, to join WealthyU, put yes in the, I got one, put one in the chat. If you could get one person to help us get to this million with a million, Lamerle says one, Lisa says one, who else can get one? Who else can get one within the next month to lean into WealthyU? Well, listen, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to make it easier for y'all to get someone to invite. The first thing is invite them to WealthyU Wind Down, right? Like if you can get here, if you can get one more person to come on to WealthyU Wind Down and say, girl, come check this out, right? Because the conversation is different. So Zerlene says she can get one. Leslie, now remember, I keep track of these chats. So tell them, Anita, we coming back. With Stephanie, I got Anita's ambassador staffing me tonight. Roxanne is staffing me. We got one. Laura says one, right? And in fact, Laura, what's so wonderful about Laura is Pamela Gilliard. All of you know Pam, who does our financial independence calculator. Laura is here because of Pam. So that's all I want you guys to understand is that I have such a huge urgency around getting to this million with a million. I was talking with a potential new member today, and she was just sharing how she had 2 meetings, and she had sat down and she met with 2 women, and they didn't have any. They were like, darn near 60, and they didn't have anything saved, right? And she was like, Miss Owens, the reason I want to join you is because I want to know how I can help this, because these women it's not like they're not making money, right? And so what I want you all to know is the reason we have such an urgency is too many of us have the wrong blueprint. Put the wrong blueprint in the chat. Just put, I had the wrong blueprint, right? And so what is important is, would you guys agree that those of you in WealthyU, if you're not a member or if you are a member, do you feel like you finally got the right blueprint? Right? If you finally got the right blueprint, put yes in the chat. And the reason, and so now I want to go back to this journey, right? So here I'm on this journey. COVID happens. We start this WealthyU Society. I don't know if it's going to work. I'm used to working one-on-one. I come from the advising world. You know what I'm saying? Like, how am I going to do this in a group? And so lo and behold, and many of my team members, we were flying this thing and building it at the same time. Okay, I just want y'all to know, those skill building sessions, all of these different things that you have now did not exist when we started. That's what I want you all to understand. And so, after I wrote the book, wow, some really hit me. It's like, if I were to look at every one of the stories of those women that had those remarkable transformations, guess what they had in common? And anybody want to guess? If you read the book, what did they all have in common? Does anybody know? Does anybody know what they had in common? They had the wrong blueprint. What Dr. Z said, they executed. That's right. They executed. Yes, they did. They executed. But what was really, really interesting is that just about every one of them had been in that 21-day challenge and that 5-day challenge. So there was an intensity. There was an intensity to how they onboarded into WealthyU. right? And so when I got that had that eureka moment, then what it caused me to do. And so what I want you guys to all see is that what it caused me to do was to document their journey. And so this is their journey. This is the journey that if for those of you who are in WealthyU right now are going through, and it's what they went through. Hang on just a second. I wanna bring up this journey up for all of you so that you can see exactly what they went through. It was just amazing. And it wasn't until I documented it that I was able to see their transformation. Okay, so can you guys all see the blueprint right now?
No,
You don't see it?
no, you had it before, but now it's not there.
Okay, hang on, let me see. Let's see. Can you guys see that now?
Yeah, we got it. Yes.
Okay. So I want you guys to understand where we're going now. So this is the actual journey. So as you can see, there are 3 stages: the financial awakening, wealth acceleration, and a legacy wealth creator, right? You guys see this? And so the first thing that had to happen, if you look at the first chapter of the book, what's the first chapter? From earner to owner, from an income mindset to a wealth mindset. So that's the transformation. You see, we've been in this middle class mindset, and we just been running for things and income and income and income and things. And that's why we have a huge wealth gap, because what the wealthy know is they have a wealth mindset, right? So they're looking at turning their income into wealth, where we're looking at things that don't turn into wealth, right? And so then the next step on that journey is, so that's why we feel insecure. So we're trying to earn more money. And we don't realize that that's not where financial freedom comes from, right? So then when you come in WealthyU and then you get the right blueprint, you're like, oh man, that's why this stuff wasn't working for me, because I had the wrong blueprint, right? So now what's the transformation? So now, instead of you feeling anxious, you feel inspired, right? Now that you've got the knowledge, because now you have the blueprint, right? So now that you have a blueprint, you go from just earning to owning. And now your journey, now you're not focused on earning an income, you're focused on turning your income into wealth. And quite frankly, that's what happened in every one of those chapters, right? So the first chapter, Dr. Sharon Deans. Okay. Next chapter, focusing on your net worth. That's the first secret, right? Then we've got Dr. Tisa Silver Kennedy, who's helped all of y'all, right? Many of you who had student loan debt. And then what's the next thing? Then the next stage is wealth acceleration. And that's what you're all learning. You're learning how to invest. You're learning how to increase your portfolio returns. You're learning what levers to pull so that you can go faster. And it's different for everybody, right? And then many of you have went from just wealth acceleration. So now some of you are up to another notch, and now you're in legacy wealth Legacy Wealth Creator stage. You're in our Legacy Wealth Accelerator. And now you're expanding, you're investing, you're building a stock portfolio now. You're investing in real estate. Some of you have bought your first, second homes, your first investment properties. So now you're not just in mutual funds, you're building this portfolio, this defensive portfolio strategy. And now you're in high net worth strategies. And by the way, for those of you who are in Legacy Wealth Accelerator, our next sprint is multifamily investments, and it starts on September the 28th. So some of you who are in even the wealth acceleration stage, it's time for you to go up a level, right? And so the whole goal is from earner to heir, is from earner to owner. So I want you to know that that is what transpired over this past 3 years now, going on 3 years. Okay. And many of you are on a part of that journey. If you've been on that journey, put me in the chat. If you've been on the Legacy Wealth Blueprint journey where you've had this financial awakening, if you could relate to all of those stages, you went into wealth acceleration, and now you're into Legacy Wealth Creator and you haven't looked back. In fact, I had a conversation with a woman that did just that, kicking and screaming. I'm not even going to name her tonight. But first she was, oh, I don't know if I want to be in WealthyU society. Boom, she gets in there. Then the next thing you know, a year later, she's like, I don't know if I could go up to that next level. And then boom, she's in the Legacy Wealth Accelerator, right? She's doing all the things. She's upped her. Last conversation I had with her, she upped her contribution in her retirement plan to 20%. She started out at 5%. And I can say this because this is something my mother used to say. She was crying like a rat eating onions. Now just think of that picture, right? Kicking and screaming all the way. That's how I have to drag y'all sometimes. Y'all, Miss Owens, I don't know if I can do it. I get you on the phone, I'm be like, girl, you can't afford not to do it. Now, how many of you, if you've had that conversation, put yes in the chat? Because you know I'm straight with no chaser, right? Because what I want you all to know is that I can see more in you than you can see in yourselves. That is my gift, and that's secret number 2. That's the superpower. Y'all got this? You got this? And so now I know I've taken a long route, but I love to give you guys inside baseball so that you understand the significance of all of it, the urgency of all of it, and the role that you all play in this, right? Like, this is not for you. I just want you to understand the same journey that I've been on and spreading this information and understanding that this is inherited knowledge and that this is not something that you're going to learn anywhere else, and that I've paid it for you through great sacrifice. And I'm not ashamed to say it. To be able to walk out of the industry and said, I'm gonna roll up my sleeves and I'm gonna take on this task because it's a calling on my life. But what I want you to know, it's not only a calling on my life, but it's a calling. Now you all have responsibility. And do you know why? Do you know why? Because you have the gift now. I want you all to understand that you have the gift now, because now I gave it to you, and now your responsibility is to pay it forward. And who's ready to pay it forward with me? If you're ready to pay it forward, put yes in the chat. Okay, so the first thing I want to say, though, is you remember I just mentioned that what all of those women had in common was that they had been in a 21-day challenge or a 5-day challenge. So one of the things that we just launched was our Legacy Wealth 6-week intensive. And the reason I launched that Legacy Wealth 6 weeks intensive, if you were in the intensive, put me in the chat. So let me see who's on here that went through the intensive. Who I know I saw Did I see Fanny? I don't see any of my intensive people in here, but here's what I want you to say. We started a 6 weeks intensive, and in 6 weeks, we basically go through the first 2 stages. So we go through the awakening stage and the wealth acceleration stage. And for some of you need to come back in the intensive. And the reason you need to, we got a totally new curriculum based on wealth secrets, and it spending 6 weeks together. I know my team, we just started another cohort. So I'm in the week 12, I'm going in week 7 now, y'all, right? We just started a new cohort, and it's amazing some of the things that have happened. And so right now, just for a minute, I want to congratulate all of the women who went through our first cohort in the Legacy Wealth Intensive. Sylvia Daniels. Now, Sylvia Daniels, I want to congratulate Sylvia because she was one of my first coaching clients back in the day. So let's give Sylvia a round of applause. Belinda Dunn joined our WealthyU Ignite program, then leveled up into the 6-week intensive, and now is in our Legacy Wealth Builder. So I want to congratulate Belinda. I can't wait to interview her so you can hear her remarkable story. Man, with just in a couple of weeks, she, less than a couple of months, she has had an amazing journey already at Impact. Rhett Wilkerson, who, like many of you, was in WealthyU Society, renewed, came right back into Wealth Intensive, and is on fire. And I know Rhett is going to go to that next level to Legacy Wealth Creator. And then Fanny Albert, who too was in our WealthyU Society program, stayed in our WealthyU Society, renewed, and went into the Legacy Wealth Intensive. So I just want to congratulate all of those ladies, because here's what I want you to know. And this is very, very important. And I had this conversation with Lemerle today. I'm glad Lemerle is here. Lemerle, one of the things we talked about is that you have to invest to the level of the results that you want. You guys need to write this down. If you make a little investment in yourself, that's exactly what you're going to get a little, right? Now, if you look at the Wealth Secret book and you look at the trajectory of all of those women, the other thing they had in common, not only did they start in that 5-day the 21-day challenge, the 5-day challenge, they went right into WealthyU Society. And then they leveled up to Legacy Wealth Accelerator. That's what they all have in common. So what I want you to understand is not only do you need to invest in order to so that you have the knowledge to have your wealth grow, but you have to be able to continue to grow. Agree or disagree with me? Agree or disagree with me? You cannot get to the next level with the same level of thinking that got you to the level that you're at. Is this making sense? Like, you are going to plateau, I will guarantee you. Just like we go out and we get all these degrees, and like now with artificial intelligence, I just believe degrees, they're going to be extinct within a year. Agree or disagree with me, right? Because the information is moving so quickly. And so what is required? And this is what I want all of you to understand. If you are standing still, you are getting left behind. Do you understand? It's like grow or die. And this is not about age. The other thing I want to talk with you guys about is this whole age thing. I'm too old. I can't do this. Technology's too hard, blah, blah, blah. Get rid of it. Some of you are going to live 30 years beyond what your parents lived. some of you need to hear this. And so what is required of you is that you have to stay relevant. And you know what you have to do to stay relevant? You have to learn more and you have to expand your circle. Now, here's the other thing that that came out in our Legacy Wealth Intensive. You know, all of them had to read the Wealth Secret books along that 6 weeks. And Angela Wallace, I don't know if she's here today, but she's in our Legacy Wealth Accelerator program. She called something to my attention that I had forgotten all about. And in one of the chapters, it's our social capital chapter, right? Some of you need a new network. How many of you are the most successful in your circle? If you are the most successful person in your circle and everybody comes to you for advice, put yes in the chat. If you are the most successful, the most knowledgeable in your circle, put yes in the chat. Okay, because it may make you feel good. Roxanne says, absolutely, that's right. I mean, and see, some of you are being, and here's the other problem that we have, ladies. Some of you are being humble and are saying, oh no, I'm not the most successful person. Well, listen, if you're the one, if you're the go-to person, you're the most successful person in your circle. And the problem with that is who's going to help you get to the next level? Do you understand what I'm saying? Who's going to help you get to the next level? So here's the other thing that we have coming down the pipe, that you're going to be able to, another way that you're going to be able to invite and help us get to 1 million with 1 million is we are about to launch, can all of you see that? Our WealthyU Insider Network, right? And our WealthyU Insider Network is designed to be that first level entree into WealthyU. Now, why is that important? It's important because our WealthyU Insider Network is going to allow our new people that you invite in to get a sneak peek at everything that you get in the program, right? So a lot of times you're telling, oh my gosh, I was on strategic advisory. Oh, I was on my skill building session. People be looking at you like, what are you talking about? Has that ever happened to you? You talk about WealthyU and you talking about, you know, the criteria of the mutual fund and all of that. And people looking at you like, what are you talking about, right? Do you ever have that perplexed look when you're talking with your friends or your friends in the chat? Let me know if that happens to you. And, you know, you're talking about WealthyU and how you found out about your mutual funds and now you're changing your performance, and Tashima laughing. And, you know, we talked about this stock and we were analyzing and researching, you know, the PEG ratio. And, you know, they're looking at, does that ever happen to you? If that happens to you, put yes in the chat. Well, one of the things we're launching is our WealthyU Insiders Network, because we know that for so many women, they don't have a network. Paula says yes. Yeah, y'all laughing. So we're going to be introducing a new program. It's called our WealthyU Insiders Network. They're going to get access to a newsletter that will share with them the kinds of stocks and mutual funds that we're researching every week. They'll see one of our fabulous WealthyU goal models and all of you who are all of your wins. There'll be a profile every month, as well as I'll be giving my natural, what do I want to commentary on what I think we need to be thinking about, whether it's health savings accounts or backdoor Roth IRAs. So they'll get some exposure to that. And I really want you guys to think about it as, you know, the way I explained it to the team. You know how you go into Costco, right? You go into Costco and you might look in the freezer and you might say, those dumplings would be good. But I remember the last time I bought a big old thing of something and I didn't like it. I wasted money. Did that ever happen to you guys? Has that ever happened to you where you bought something and you were like, made me buy that? I don't even like it. If that's happened to you, put it in the chat, right? If that's happened to you, put it in the chat, because it sure has happened to me, right? And so what does Mr. Costco do? So you go around that store and you you go around that store and you turn the corner, and what do they have? What does Costco have when you go in there and all around strategically? Y'all know what it is? They have little samples, right? You can taste this and you can taste that, and before you know it, when you taste it, you'll be like, that'll be good. I could just throw it in the oven, that'll be fast. And so then the next thing you know, you walking out with boxes of things. Is this making sense? You know, that may not have happened to you, but I know I got plenty of stuff in that freezer just based on me tasting something in Costco. So that's what our WealthyU Insiders Network really is going to be designed to do. Be designed to have people get a sampler of our programs. There also will be able to, and here's the other thing. One of the other things included in the WealthyU Insiders Network that all of you who are already a part of WealthyU have is our Wealth Builder Rewards. Well, you can get referral fees for up to $50 to $250, depending upon what programs they go into, right? So that is designed really for you if you want to offset some of your coaching expenses. But you know, I always want you to invest. I mean, think about it. If you were to invite 10 people into WealthyU and they were to go into our Legacy Wealth Builders program, you would get a referral fee of $100. That could add up, right? But what I want you to know, again, it's not the money, it's the mission. I need the commitment from all of you to say that we're going to help this community grow, and every week we're going to make something, sure we invite something. But here's what all of you can do right now. Okay. How many of you are members in the WealthyU community? You're already members in the WealthyU community, right? Tonight, I want you to go through your other Facebook friends, and I want you to identify what are winners. What are winners? And these are members, people within your circle who you know have what it takes, right? Who you know are going to be profoundly impacted by what they learn in WealthyU. But they want it. They'll have a desire. They will lean in. They will take responsibility. That's the I, and no excuses. So if you're willing to go into your friends right now and identify, I want you to identify 10 people that, like you, would be good to be introduced to the WealthyU community. Would you guys, who's with me? Who's willing to go into their Facebook friend group, identify 10 people and just invite them? Now, you know how you do that? Do you guys want me to show you how to do that? It's really easy. All you've got to do. Here's all you've got to do. Hold on, I'm pull up my little Facebook. I'm gonna share my screen. Be there, my little children. Well, they're not little children anymore. They big children. But wait a minute. So we're gonna go to the groups. We're gonna go to the WealthyU community. And then all you have to do, guys, there's a little, you see that little invite button right there? You just invite. You put invite your Facebook friends. Y'all following me?
Can you do it again? We just now got your screen.
Okay, you see this little invite button over here?
Okay.
You're in WealthyU community. You're gonna go over to this little invite button. You're gonna put invite Facebook friends. Now, for some reason, I think because I'm sharing, it won't come up, but you're just gonna go through your list and you're gonna identify 10 people that you think would be great. And you're gonna invite them into WealthyU community. And then when we let them in, and it'll show us who invited them, then all you're gonna kind of communicate with them. Hey girl, I'm glad you're here. And if you'll do that for us, the other thing is, Anita, if you could put in the link, we have a wait list going for the WealthyU Insiders Network. Anita, if you'll put that, all they have to do is apply to get in. It's not a huge investment. It's like $47 a month, and they're going to get a boatload of things along with a t-shirt. But it's going to be our way of introducing folks into the community. If you go into the chat, Anita just put it in the chat. If you go into the chat, so you're going to be hearing a lot about the WealthyU Insiders Network. We're just getting all of the technical things together. And the soft launch, if you will be October 1st. That's our goal. But just know that the WealthyU Insiders Network is designed to invite people in and give them just a sample and a taste of what it means to be a winner, right? Get it? WealthyU Insiders Network winner. I want to thank Roxanne, who's been working really hard with me on getting that newsletter. They'll get a newsletter. Well, you guys all get it too, the ones that, if you're already members, so don't feel like you got to join. Let me put that out there. Membership has privileges, okay? So you're going to get the new, like Oprah, you're going to get a newsletter. You're going to get a newsletter. I'm not giving away cars or anything, but if you're already a member of WealthyU, you will already get the resources of the WealthyU Insiders Network. However, this program is really designed to help us achieve our mission of helping 1 million women get to $1 million in investable assets. We can't do it on our own, but look, if one person invites 10, and then if those other 10 invite 10, and if those other people invite 10, then it's amazing what kind of impact we can have. So again, we're right at 9 o'clock. Thanks so much for coming on WealthyU Wind Down Wednesday. Again, I want to celebrate those members who are in our Legacy Wealth Intensive. If you are interested in joining one of our Legacy Wealth Intensive cohorts, because you want to have that same intensity and intentionality that you see that the women in the Wealth Secrets book experience, then reach out to your ambassador. And with that, I'm going to bid you all a good evening. Thanks for coming on WealthyU Wind Down Wednesday, and good night. Mm-hmm.